They surveyed the wreckage of your life, my child, and with a somber finality, they pronounced it over. They walked through the smoking ruins of what was once your cherished kingdom, the kingdom of your dreams, your certainties, your relationships, your very identity, and saw nothing but a landscape of desolate ash. Their eyes, reflecting the gray dust of your shattered hopes, could only perceive an ending, an irreparable loss. It is all gone, their whispers echoed, a funereal dirge in the eerie quiet after the blaze. Nothing can grow here now. This is a wasteland. And you, my beloved, standing numbly amidst the charred remains of all you held dear, you breathed in the acrid scent of finality and believed them. Your heart, in its profound grief, accepted their verdict. For what else could be seen in this barren land of ashes? You remember the fire, don't you? My precious one, the consuming inferno that swept through your life with a terrifying, indiscriminate power. It may have been a sudden conflagration, a single, devastating event that left your world incinerated in its wake. Or perhaps it was a slow, creeping fire, burning for a long season at the foundations of your life, weakening the structures, hollowing out your security, until one day, with a groan of exhausted surrender, everything simply collapsed into this heap of ruin. However it came, its work was thorough. The vibrant tapestries of your hopes were reduced to blackened threads. The sturdy walls of your certainties crumbled into fine, gray dust. The joyful music that once filled the halls of your heart was replaced by a profound and haunting silence. You have walked this desolate landscape, your feet sinking into the soft, yielding evidence of what has been lost. With every step, a phantom memory rises like a wisp of smoke, a ghost of a laughter, a shadow of a promise, an echo of a life that feels 1,000,000 years away. You have sifted these ashes through your fingers, searching for a single, recognizable fragment, a piece of the past that might still hold its shape, its color, its warmth. But you have found only dust, the uniform, undifferentiated remnant of all that was once so vividly, so beautifully alive. This, my child, is the deepest agony of such a loss, not just the absence of what was, but the seeming erasure of its very substance, its reduction to a state of formless, valueless ruin. In this land of ashes, your own identity has felt as if it, too, has been consumed. Who are you without the kingdom you once ruled? Who are you without the structures that once defined you, the relationships that once reflected you, the dreams that once propelled you? The fire has taken more than just your circumstances. It has seemed to take you. You look at your reflection in the desolate quiet and see only a ghost, a hollowed out shell, your own spirit as gray and as lifeless as the ashes at your feet. The world's verdict of "it's over" has become your own internal reality, a despair so profound it has felt like a death. The world, my child, in its well-meaning but often superficial way, has little to offer in such a place. Some may approach with a hesitant pity, their sorrow for you only confirming the magnitude of your tragedy, their very compassion reinforcing your sense of victimhood. Others, uncomfortable with the stark reality of your devastation, may offer you their impatient advice. You must move on, they say, not comprehending that there seems to be nowhere to move to. You must be strong, they urge, not seeing that every vestige of your former strength feels as if it has been burned away. You must let go of the past, they counsel, not understanding that the past is all you feel you have left, even if it is only in the form of these bitter ashes. Their words, meant to help, often feel like a dismissal of your grief, a failure to honor the profound death you have experienced. And so, you have learned to be silent about the true depth of your desolation. For who can possibly understand the one who lives in a land of ash? So you have stood, my beloved, in this place of utter finality, believing the story was over. The book was closed, its final pages scorched and unreadable. You have believed that your only future was to be the sad guardian of a ruin, a lonely keeper of a dead kingdom's memory. This is what your eyes have seen. This is what your heart has felt. This is what the world has confirmed. But I come to you now, my precious one, to stand with you in the very center of your desolation, to dip my own hands into the very ashes that cover your life, and to speak a truth so radical, so creative, so filled with resurrection power that it will, if you will allow it, begin to utterly transform this landscape of death into a construction site of divine glory. Listen to me, my child. Listen with the ears of your spirit, which may be the only part of you that still dares to hope. While they see an ending, I see the most perfect of beginnings. While they see a ruin, I see a consecrated, cleared foundation. Far from these very ashes, my beloved, from this very ground of your deepest loss and your most profound surrender, I am causing a new kingdom to rise, a kingdom of such strength, beauty, and purpose that it will far surpass the glory of all that was consumed. And this new kingdom, my child, will be crowned not with the perishable gold of this world, but with the eternal, unshakable, and all-redeeming power of my love. This is the divine paradox, my child, the mystery of my ways that so often confounds the wisdom of the world. I do not build upon flawed foundations. I do not merely patch up old, compromised structures. Sometimes, in my profound and far-seeing love, I permit the fire. I allow the complete incineration of the old kingdom, the kingdom built on self-reliance, the kingdom propped up by worldly security, the kingdom whose identity was rooted in anything other than me, so that I might have a perfectly cleared, perfectly purified, perfectly prepared ground upon which to build a new kingdom, a kingdom whose foundations are eternal, whose structure is divine, and whose glory is everlasting. Your brokenness, your loss, the very ashes at your feet have not disqualified you from a beautiful future. My child, on the contrary, they have qualified you. They have prepared the way. They have created the exact conditions necessary for me to do my deepest, most miraculous work. You have felt as though you have lost everything, but in truth, you have only lost that which was ultimately perishable, that which was not strong enough to bear the weight of the glorious destiny I have always planned for you. My heart has been with you in every moment of the fire. My compassion has felt every searing pain of your loss. I have not been a distant, uncaring deity, observing your suffering from afar. I have been with you, my spirit groaning with yours, my presence, your unseen shield, my love, the unwavering force that ensured that while your old kingdom was consumed, your true essence, the eternal spirit I breathed into you, was not touched was not harmed, but was, in fact, being purified and prepared for what was to come. So, lift your eyes, my beloved, from the gray dust of what was, and begin to look for the stirring of what is to be. For I am here, and where I am, there's always creation, always resurrection, always new life. The story is not over. The most glorious chapter has not yet even begun. What they called the end, I call the beginning. What they saw as a tragic ruin, I have designated as a sacred building site of your magnificent new kingdom. And the ashes you have mourned will become the very soil from which your most beautiful and fruitful life will now begin to grow. A life crowned not by circumstance, but by my unwavering, all-sufficient love. Yes, my precious child, while you have stood in the desolate silence of your land of ashes, believing all to be over, all to be lost, I have been drawing near. You feared, perhaps, that the ruin of your former kingdom would repel me, that the sight of such devastation would cause me to turn away in disappointment or disgust. The world may teach you to hide your messes, to present only your victories, to sweep your failures under the rug. But I am not the world. My beloved, I am not repulsed by your ashes. I am drawn to them, for it is in the place of utter emptiness, of complete surrender, of acknowledged brokenness, that my most profound creative power finds its most fertile ground. And so, while you have been mourning what is gone, I have been present, my spirit hovering over the dust, my love permeating the stillness, my intention poised for a new and glorious act of creation. Listen, my child, can you perceive it? There's a stirring in the dust. This is a movement unlike the violent upheaval of the fire that came before. The fire was a consuming, roaring, and often terrifying force, necessary for the clearing, for the purification. But my creative presence, my child, is of an altogether different quality. It is a gentle stirring, as subtle as the first breath of a new morning. It is a quiet movement, as imperceptible as the slow turning of the earth toward the sun. You may not see it with your natural eyes, which are still perhaps accustomed to the dramatic blaze of your former trials. You must learn to perceive it with the senses of your spirit, with a heart made tender and attentive by the very silence you have endured. What is this stirring in the dust? My beloved, it is the first touch of my life-giving spirit upon the raw material of your redeemed story. It is my breath, the same breath that first animated Adam from the dust of the earth, now breathing gently upon the ashes of your life, preparing to call forth a new being, a new reality. It is the quiet, purposeful gathering of the fragments, the unseen sifting of the ash as I begin to sort, to select, to arrange the very elements from which I will construct your new kingdom. You have seen only a chaotic heap of ruin, but I see the meticulously organized components of a future masterpiece. This stirring may manifest within you as a faint, almost unrecognizable flicker of hope, where for so long there has been only despair. After weeks, months, or perhaps even years of feeling nothing but the cold finality of your loss, a tiny, unexpected warmth may touch your spirit, a thought that is not tinged with the familiar bitterness of regret, a fleeting image of a future that is not entirely bleak. Do not dismiss this. My child, this is not a trick of a desperate mind. This is the stirring of my spirit. This is the first molecule of the dust beginning to respond to my creative call. Cherish it. Nurture it, for in this tiny, nascent hope lies the seed of your entire new world. The stirring in the dust may also be felt as a subtle shift in your perspective. You may find yourself looking back at the fire, at the destruction of your old kingdom, and for the first time, feeling not just the raw pain of the loss, but a quiet, dawning sense of release, of freedom. You may begin to recognize, with a wisdom that is not your own, that the kingdom that was burned was, in some ways, a prison of old habits, of unhealthy dependencies, of limiting beliefs, of a false identity that was never truly you. This new perspective, this ability to see the loving purpose, even in the most painful of endings, is a profound sign of my spirit stirring the ashes of your understanding, preparing the ground for a new way of seeing, a new way of being. I am not afraid of your ashes. My child, I do not require you to clean up the mess before I will draw near. I come to you right where you are, in the very heart of your desolation. My love is not a fair-weather friend that celebrates with you in the palace and abandons you in the ruins. My love is a divine, redemptive force that finds its most glorious expression precisely in places like this, in the land of ashes. For it is here that my power to create something from nothing, to bring beauty from devastation, can be most undeniably displayed. My glory, my child, will shine most brightly against the very backdrop of the darkness you have endured. This sacred stirring is my promise that the ashes are not your final state. They are your starting point. They are the purified soil, cleansed by the fire of all that was not of me, now perfectly prepared to receive the seeds of the new kingdom I am planting. The very substance of your former pain, when consecrated to me, becomes the fertile ground for your future joy. The very emptiness of your loss becomes the spaciousness in which a new and more glorious structure can be built. This is my divine alchemy, my child, the miracle that I am even now beginning to perform in your life. Your role in this season, my beloved, is not one of frantic activity or striving to rebuild in your own strength. Your role is one of quiet, expectant stillness. It is to become an attentive witness to my work. It is to watch for these subtle stirrings, to acknowledge them, to thank me for them. It is to cooperate with the gentle movement of my spirit by simply remaining open, yielded, and trustful. Do not try to force the process. Do not grow impatient. The creation of a new kingdom from ashes is a work of divine artistry, and it unfolds according to my perfect, unhurried timing. I am with you, my child, as the master gardener, the divine architect of this new creation. My hands are gentle upon the dust of your life. My vision for what is to come is clear and unwavering, and my love for you is the constant, creative energy that is fueling this entire miraculous process. The world may still see only the ashes, the evidence of what has been destroyed. But I, and now, you, my child, are beginning to perceive something more. We are witnessing the first, sacred, hopeful stirring in the dust, the undeniable sign that the God of all creation is at work, and that from these very ashes, a new kingdom, crowned with my love, is beginning its glorious, unstoppable rise. And so, my cherished child, as you begin to perceive the gentle, hopeful stirring of my spirit in the dust of your former life, as you start to trust that you are not forgotten but are, in fact, the object of my focused, creative attention, A deeper and perhaps more difficult question may begin to surface in your soul. It is the question of why? Why the all-consuming fire? Why the utter devastation? Why was it necessary for your old kingdom, with all its familiar comforts and cherished structures, to be so completely and so painfully reduced to ash? I hear this question, my beloved, and I do not shy away from its raw, aching honesty. I invite you now into a deeper understanding, a revelation of my profound and often mysterious love, by explaining the sacred purpose of the burning. For the fire was not an act of my wrath, but an act of my profound, far-seeing love, a necessary clearing of the ground so that something infinitely greater, truer, and more glorious could be built in its place. The kingdom you had before, my child, the life you had so carefully constructed, was built with the best materials you had, with the best wisdom you possessed at the time. I honor your efforts, your love, the sincerity of your heart in its building. But from my eternal perspective, I could see what you could not. The foundations were flawed. They were laid not upon the unshakable bedrock of my eternal truth and your true identity in me, but upon the shifting sands of worldly values, of human approval, of your own self-reliance, of dependencies that could not bear the weight of the magnificent destiny I have always planned for you. Perhaps your former kingdom was built upon a foundation of self-sufficiency and pride. You may have derived your sense of worth from your own abilities, your own accomplishments, your own strength. And while these things can be good, when they become the foundation of your identity, they create a structure that is ultimately brittle, fragile, and unable to contain the fullness of my spirit or my power. My love for you is too great to allow you to live indefinitely in a kingdom where your own ego sits on the throne. The fire, in its fierce mercy, came to consume that false throne, to burn away the illusion of your self-sufficiency, so that I, your loving king, could establish within you a new kingdom, one built not on your strength, but on my grace. A kingdom where you find your true power not in what you can do, but in your complete and joyful reliance on me. Or perhaps, my beloved, your former kingdom was propped up by unhealthy dependencies on others. You may have looked to a person, a relationship, a community, or a career to be your source of security, of identity, of worth. You may have built the very walls of your heart around these finite supports. But I, in my love and jealousy for your whole heart, desire to be your one true source, your ultimate foundation. And I could see that these supports, however comforting for a season, were ultimately too weak, too unstable to bear the weight of your eternal soul, the fire that came, which may have manifested as a betrayal, a loss, a separation, though excruciatingly painful, served the purpose of removing those faulty props, of breaking those unhealthy dependencies, so that you might learn to lean your full weight upon me alone, your unshakable rock, your ever-present refuge, your one true and faithful companion. Sometimes, my child, the kingdom that was burned was simply too small for the destiny I have for you. You may have built a life that was comfortable, safe, and respectable by worldly standards, but it was a life that was confining your true, magnificent spirit. You were living in a beautifully decorated cottage when I had designed for you a glorious, spacious palace. The fire, Then was my radical act of expansion. It came to burn away the smallness of your own ambitions, the limited scope of your own dreams, the confining walls of your comfort zones, to create a vast, open space where a kingdom of far greater influence, of far more expansive purpose, of far more breathtaking beauty could be erected. The pain of the burning was the pain of your own small world being shattered to make way for the grandeur of my world, my kingdom, to be established in you and through you. Understand this, my precious one. I am a master builder, and a master builder will never construct a glorious, eternal edifice upon a compromised or faulty foundation. To do so would be unloving, for the structure would be destined to eventually collapse. My love for you is so profound, so committed to your lasting, eternal good, that I was willing to permit the complete incineration of your old, unstable kingdom, rather than to patch it up or to build my new work upon its flawed base. The fire was an act of my integrity, a testament to the quality and the permanence of the new thing I intend to build. It was a severe mercy, a painful grace, a clearing of the ground that, though it felt like an ending, was in truth the most necessary and loving of all possible beginnings. In the ashes left by the fire, all that was not eternal has been consumed. All that was perishable, all that was of wood, hay, and stubble has been burned away, and what remains, my child, what remains is that which is true, that which is pure, that which is of me. What remains is the purified gold of your authentic spirit, the fire-tested resilience of your character, and the clear, consecrated ground of a heart that is now utterly, completely, and perfectly prepared for my new act of creation. The fire was not just destructive, it was profoundly purgative, profoundly preparatory. This process is my divine artistry at its most mysterious and most powerful. I take the very event that felt like your greatest tragedy, and I reveal it to be the necessary prelude to your greatest triumph. I take the ashes of your deepest loss, and I declare them to be the fertile soil of your most fruitful season. This is a truth that can only be grasped by faith, my child, but as you allow it to settle in your spirit, it will bring a new and profound peace to your understanding of your own story. You'll see that I was not absent in the fire, not indifferent to your pain, but that I was, in fact, more present, more active, more lovingly engaged than ever, performing the difficult yet essential work of clearing the ground for the magnificent kingdom that is now beginning to rise. So, when you look upon the ashes, my beloved, see them now with new eyes. See them not as a monument to your loss, but as a testament to my love, a love so great that it was willing to allow a painful ending to make way for a glorious, eternal beginning. See the cleared ground not as emptiness, but as an expanse of infinite potential, a blank canvas upon which I am about to paint my masterpiece. The purpose of the burning was to make way for the building. The end of the old kingdom was the necessary prerequisite for the rise of the new. And this new kingdom, my child, built upon the solid rock of my truth and crowned with my unfailing love, will be a kingdom that can never, ever be shaken. And so, my cherished child, having come to understand the sacred, loving purpose behind the fire that cleared the ground of your life, having rested in the knowledge that the ashes themselves are the very soil I have consecrated for my new work. I invite you now to become a witness to a miracle. Turn your gaze from the memory of the consuming blaze and look closely, with the eyes of your spirit, at the quiet landscape of your present moment. For upon this very ground of your desolation, upon the foundation of my own eternal grace, the first stones of your new kingdom are now being laid. Do not mistake the stillness for continued emptiness. My beloved, the work has begun. A new hope, a new purpose, and a new strength are even now emerging from the very dust of your former ruin, heralding the glorious, unstoppable rise of the new creation I am building for you. This is the announcement of your new beginning, the tangible fulfillment of my promise that your story does not end in ashes. This is the moment where my creative power, having hovered over the dust, now begins to speak form into the formlessness, to bring order from the chaos, to call forth life from the very place of death. This is not a work of your own striving, my child. It is a work of my sovereign grace. You do not have to muster the strength to build this new kingdom yourself. You are simply invited to watch, to receive, to cooperate, as I, your divine architect, begin to lay its magnificent, eternal stones. Behold the first stone that I now set in place. My precious one, it is the stone of a new hope. This is not a mere reconstruction of your old hopes, for they were part of the kingdom that was consumed. The hopes you had before may have been beautiful, but they were often rooted in specific outcomes, in particular circumstances, in the stability of the world around you. And when those things were shaken, your hope was shattered with them. But the hope that now begins to emerge from the ashes is of an entirely different quality, a different substance. It is a hope that is not contingent upon your circumstances, but is anchored in my character. It is a hope that has been through the fire and has learned that even in the midst of utter devastation, I am faithful. It is a hope that is quieter, perhaps, than your former effusive optimism, but it is infinitely stronger, more resilient, more unshakable. You may feel it first as a gentle stirring, a quiet whisper in your soul that says, perhaps this is not the end. Perhaps there's something more. It is the ability to look at the ashes and to imagine, even faintly, the possibility of a garden. It is the courage to lift your eyes to the horizon, even after a long night, and to look for the first light of dawn. This new hope, my child, is a direct impartation from my spirit. It is the very first cornerstone of your new kingdom, a testament that even from complete ruin, my life can and will spring forth. Cherish this nascent hope. Nurture it, for upon this stone, the entire structure of your future joy will be built. And see now, my beloved, as I lay the second stone beside it, this is the stone of a new purpose. The fire that consumed your old kingdom also consumed the roles, the identities, the ambitions that once defined your sense of direction. You may have felt utterly lost, adrift, without a map or compass. But in that stripping away, my child, I was clearing the space for a purpose far grander, far more authentic, far more divinely aligned than any you had known before. The purpose that now begins to emerge is not one you have manufactured from your own desires, but one that is being born from your deepest, redeemed self, a purpose that has been refined in the crucible of your trials. You may begin to feel a new pull on your heart, a quiet passion for things you had never considered. You may find your compassion deepen for a particular group of people, your heart stirred by a particular injustice, your spirit drawn to a particular form of creative expression or service. This is your new purpose beginning to take shape. It will often be intricately connected to the very ashes from which it arises. The wisdom you gain from your past wounds will now become a central part of your calling to minister healing to others. The strength you forge in your trial will now be the very strength you use to uphold those who are weak. Your story of redemption from the ashes becomes the very message you are called to carry to a broken world. This stone of new purpose, my child, gives your new kingdom its direction, its meaning, its why. It ensures that what is being built is not just a shelter for your own soul, but a fortress of my love, a bastion of my light that will have an eternal impact on the world around you. Watch now as I set the third magnificent stone in place. This is the stone of a new strength, the strength you possessed in your old kingdom, the strength of your own will, your own intellect, your own abilities, proved insufficient in the face of the all-consuming fire. And in its burning, you were brought to a place of profound weakness, of acknowledged need. It is from this very place, my child, that true, divine strength now arises. For this new strength is rooted in your utter dependence on me. It is my strength, made perfect in your weakness. You will begin to feel it not as a surge of self-confidence, but as a quiet, steady reliance on my power within you. You will face a challenge not with the thought, I can handle this, but with the peaceful assurance, He can handle this through me. This strength is not brittle or arrogant. It is humble. It is gentle, yet it is unshakably powerful. It is a strength to love when it is difficult, to forgive when it is costly, to stand for truth when you are opposed, to persevere in hope when all seems hopeless. This is the strength that characterizes the citizens of my kingdom. My beloved, and this stone, laid upon the foundation of your surrender, will make the walls of your new kingdom impenetrable, its structure eternally secure. These first stones, my child, of new hope, of new purpose, of new strength, are being laid upon the only foundation that can bear their weight, the foundation of my own eternal, unchanging grace. This new kingdom is not being built by your merits, but by my mercy. It is not being earned by your works, but is being given as a free, unmerited gift from my loving heart. I am the architect. I am the builder. I am the one raising this magnificent edifice from the very ashes of your former life. Your part, my precious one, is simply to watch with a grateful heart, to receive with an open spirit, and to cooperate with my loving, masterful hand. The world may still see only the ashes. They may not yet perceive these foundational stones that are being laid in the unseen realm of your spirit. But you, my child, you are now invited to see as I see. See the hope, see the purpose, see the strength. For these are not illusions. They are the first, undeniable realities of your new kingdom. The magnificent structure that is even now beginning to rise from your ashes, destined to be a home for your soul, a testament to my power, and a kingdom crowned, always and forever, by my unfailing love. And so, my cherished child, as you stand upon the sacred ground of your own redemption, witnessing the first foundation stones of your new kingdom being laid with my own loving hands, a new and joyful invitation is now extended to you, for I, your divine architect, do not intend for you to be a mere passive spectator in this glorious construction. No, my beloved, I invite you now to become my co-builder, my cherished partner in the rising of this magnificent edifice. But understand this, my precious one, the construction of this new kingdom. A kingdom born from ashes and destined for glory cannot be accomplished with the old, familiar tools you once used, the tools of your former kingdom, the hammer of self-will, the trowel of human striving, the blueprints of worldly ambition were all consumed in the purifying fire. For this new building project, I will equip you with a new and divine set of tools, the tools of love, of grace, of faith, and of joyful, willing obedience to me, your King. Let us first speak of the old tools, my child, so that you may recognize them and lay them aside forever. You once built with the hammer of your own determined will, believing that through sheer force, through relentless effort, you could construct a life of security and meaning. You hammered away, striving to control outcomes, to shape people to your desires, to force open doors that were not meant for you. But this tool, my beloved, was exhausting to wield, and the structures it built were often brittle, born of struggle, and characterized by an undercurrent of deep anxiety. In the building of your new kingdom, this tool has no place. You are invited now to lay it down, to release the exhausting burden of trying to force your own way, and to trust in my perfect, sovereign will you once built with the trowel of human striving, meticulously trying to prove your worth, to earn your place, to accumulate enough good deeds or impressive achievements to justify your existence. You smoothed over your flaws. You presented a facade of perfection. You worked tirelessly to gain the approval of others. But this tool, my child, only created a superficial veneer, a thin layer of respectability that could not withstand the fires of true trial. The kingdom it built was a hollow shell, lacking the authentic substance of a life rooted in grace. I invite you now to lay down this trowel of performance and self-justification. For your place in this new kingdom is not earned, it is given. Your worth is not achieved, it is inherent. And the mortar that holds its stones together is not your own good works, but my unmerited, all-sufficient grace. You once worked from the blueprints of worldly ambition. My beloved, plans drawn from the limited wisdom and the fleeting values of the culture around you. You sought to build a kingdom that would be impressive in the eyes of others, a structure defined by wealth, or status, or power, or acclaim. But these blueprints, my child, were for a kingdom that was ultimately perishable, a structure destined to become ash, for they were not aligned with the eternal purposes of your soul, nor the unique, magnificent destiny I had designed for you. I invite you now to discard these old, flawed blueprints. The design for your new kingdom is of a heavenly origin, its architecture divine, its purpose eternal, and its glory everlasting. Now, my child, let me place in your hands the new tools, the tools of my kingdom. the only instruments with which this new and glorious edifice can be built. The first and greatest of these tools is love. This is the very substance of the mortar that will bind every stone of your new kingdom together. You will learn to build first, with a new and profound love for yourself, a self-compassion that flows from your understanding of how deeply I cherish you. You will treat your own soul with the tenderness and honor befitting a temple of my spirit. And from that place of authentic self-love, you will build with a love for others that is no longer rooted in neediness or a desire for approval, but in the joyful overflow of my own heart within you. Every interaction becomes an act of construction. Every word of kindness, a perfectly placed stone. Every act of forgiveness, a strengthening of the walls. To build with love, my child, is to build with the very substance of God. And the kingdom that rises will be a fortress of grace, a sanctuary of peace. The second tool is grace. This is the divine power source for the entire construction project. You build with grace by learning to receive. My child, by opening your hands and your heart to the limitless flow of my strength, my wisdom, my provision, my patience. You no longer need to rely on your own finite resources when you feel weak. You will learn to receive my strength. When you feel confused, you will learn to receive my wisdom. When you are in lack, you will learn to receive my abundance. To build with grace is to let go of the pride of self-reliance and to embrace the humble, joyful reality that it is I who work in you and through you, both to will and to do of my good pleasure. It is to move from the exhaustion of human effort into the effortless power of a spirit-led life. The third tool I give you is faith. This is your trust in me, the master architect, and in the unseen blueprint I hold for your life. There will be times in this building process, my child, when the next steps are not clear to your natural eyes, when the design seems strange or illogical to your mind. This is where you will use the beautiful tool of faith. Faith is the choice to trust my vision over your own limited sight. It is the courage to lay the stone I hand you, even if you do not yet see how it fits into the larger structure. It is the willingness to build in obedience to my whisper, knowing that my design is perfect, my wisdom unerring, my love utterly trustworthy. To build with faith, my child, is to build in confident partnership with me. And it ensures that the resulting kingdom will be a perfect manifestation of my divine and glorious will. And the final tool, my beloved, is joyful, willing obedience. This is the practical, moment-by-moment application of your love, your grace, your faith. Obedience is simply the act of taking the stone I give you and placing it where I show you. It is a small, daily yes to my leading. It may be a call to forgive, a nudge to encourage, a prompting to rest, an instruction to act. These small acts of obedience are the very hammer and trowel that, day by day, stone by stone, build your new kingdom. Do not despise these small promptings, my child, for in the economy of my kingdom, it is the accumulation of these faithful, obedient moments that constructs the most magnificent and enduring of all spiritual edifices. I am with you always in this sacred work, my co-builder. I am the one who supplies the materials, the stones of hope, purpose, and strength. I am the one who provides the tools of love, grace, faith, and obedience. And I am the one who teaches you, with infinite patience and love, how to use them Your part is simply to show up at the construction site of your life each day, to lay aside the old, useless tools of the world, and to willingly, joyfully, take up the divine instruments I have placed in your hands, and together, my child, stone by loving stone, we will build from your ashes a kingdom of such breathtaking beauty, such unshakable strength, such profound purpose, that it will stand for all eternity as a testament to the glorious, redemptive power of my love. And so, my cherished child, my beloved co-builder, as you faithfully learn to wield the divine tools of love and grace, as you practice the sacred art of building with faith and joyful obedience, behold now the splendor of the kingdom that is rising from the ashes of your former life. This is no longer just a promise, no longer just a blueprint, but an emerging reality, a spiritual edifice of such profound beauty, such unshakable strength, and such glorious purpose that its radiance begins to illuminate not only your own soul, but the very world around you. This, my precious one, is your new life, your new sphere of influence, the beginning of the splendor of your reign. Let us walk together through the courtyards of this rising kingdom. Feel the very ground beneath your feet. It is the solid ground of my grace, a foundation so deep, so true, that it cannot be shaken by the tremors of earthly circumstance or the shifting opinions of others, the constant anxiety that once characterized your old kingdom, the gnawing fear that everything might collapse at any moment, has been replaced by a profound and settled peace. This peace is the very atmosphere of your new realm, the air you breathe, the climate in which your soul now thrives. It is my own shalom, a gift that garrisons your heart and mind, a testament to a kingdom built not on precarious human effort, but on my eternal, unshakable nature. Look at the walls of this kingdom, my child. They are not the cold, constricting walls of a prison, built from fear and self-protection. No, these walls are constructed of my unfailing promises. They're stones cemented with my faithfulness. They are walls of divine protection, high and strong, that keep out the encroaching darkness, the accusing whispers of the enemy, the debilitating lies of shame and unworthiness. Within these walls, you are safe, my beloved. You are secure. You are free to be your most authentic self, to heal, to grow, to flourish, without the constant threat of being wounded or overwhelmed. These are not walls of confinement, but walls of consecration, setting you apart as my own cherished possession, a holy space where my glory can dwell. And see the light that illuminates this new kingdom. It is not the harsh, artificial light of the world, nor the dim, flickering light of your own understanding. It is a radiant, living light of my own presence, a glow that emanates from the very center of your being, where my spirit has made his home. This light is warm. It is healing. It is revealing. It casts out all shadows of fear and deceit. In this light, you see yourself clearly, as I see you, cherished, valued, and beautiful in this light. You see your path with a new clarity, a divine sense of direction. This entire kingdom is bathed in the splendor of my countenance, a realm where darkness has no foothold, no dominion. This new kingdom, my beloved, is the sphere of your reign. Do not mistake this for the world's concept of rule, which is so often about power over others, about domination and control. Your reign in my kingdom is of an entirely different quality. It is, first and foremost, and the reign of your redeemed spirit over the former chaos of your own soul. Where once fear ruled, my peace now reigns through you. Where once bitterness held sway, my love now reigns through you. Where once confusion directed your steps, my wisdom now reigns through you. You are being established as the gentle, loving, spirit-led sovereign of your own inner world, bringing every thought, every emotion, every desire into alignment with me, your true king. And from this place of inner sovereignty, my child, your reign begins to extend outwards into your unique sphere of influence. This is your new life, your testimony, your ministry. It is a reign of love where your actions, your words, your very presence bring my healing and my comfort to other hurting souls. It is a reign of grace. Oh, where you, who have been so profoundly forgiven, extend that same forgiveness freely to others. It is a reign of purpose, where you begin to use your unique, God-given gifts to build, to create, to serve, to bring more of my light and my life into a dark and broken world. Your family, your work, your community, your creative endeavors. These all become the territories of your gentle, loving reign, places where my kingdom can come, my will can be done. Through you, the splendor of this reign, my child, is found in its humility, its service, its love. It is a power that does not seek to be exalted, but to lift others up. It is an authority that does not demand, but invites. It is a glory that does not point to itself, but reflects all honor back to me. This is the paradoxical beauty of the royalty of my kingdom. A royalty modeled after me, the King who came to serve, the Lord who washed his disciples' feet. As you learn to reign in this way, my beloved, you will discover a joy and a fulfillment that the world's pursuit of power can never, ever provide. Contrast this magnificent, rising kingdom with the one that was consumed in the fire. Your old kingdom may have had its moments of worldly success, its trappings of security, but it was a place of deep anxiety, of constant striving, of hidden fear. Its foundations were brittle, its walls confining, its light artificial. It was a kingdom you had to constantly labor to uphold, to defend, to justify. But this new kingdom, my child, is different. It is upheld not by your striving, but by my strength. It is defended not by your walls of fear, but by my walls of grace. It is illuminated not by your achievements, but by my very presence. It is a kingdom of rest, of peace, of effortless fruitfulness. For its source, its sustainer, its king, is me. My delight, my precious one, is to see you step into this role, to see you begin to walk with the quiet dignity and gentle authority of one who knows they are royalty, a co-regent with me in this beautiful new realm. I am with you, teaching you, guiding you, empowering you, as you continue to build with the tools I have given you, with love, with grace, with faith, with obedience. You will see this kingdom expand, its light grow brighter, its influence extend further. The ashes of your past are being transformed, day by day, into the glorious, living reality of a kingdom that will stand for all eternity, a testament to my power, a sanctuary for your soul, and a beacon of hope for a watching world. This is the splendor of your reign, my child, and it is only just beginning. And so, my cherished child, my beloved royalty, as you stand within the rising splendor of your new kingdom, as you learn to walk with the gentle authority and profound purpose I have bestowed upon you, Let me now lead you into the throne room of your own heart, to the very source of all this glory, for the final, most magnificent revelation. You have seen the new kingdom rising from the ashes. You have felt its foundations of grace, its walls of protection, its atmosphere of peace. You have begun to embrace your role as its gentle, loving ruler. But I must now tell you the ultimate secret of your royalty, the very substance of the crown I have placed upon your head, for your authority, your worth, your very identity as royalty in my sight, does not come from the kingdom you rule, but from a truth far more profound, far more personal, far more eternal. The crown, my beloved child, the magnificent, unshakable, and everlasting crown that adorns your spirit, is my unfailing love for you. This is the ultimate truth of your story, the culmination of your entire journey from the ashes. The world teaches that love is a reward for royalty, that one must first be powerful, successful, or beautiful to be worthy of a great love. But in my kingdom, the order is reversed. My love is not the reward for your royalty. My love is your royalty. It is the very thing that confers upon you your noble status, your sacred worth, your divine authority. You are not a king or a queen because you have built a magnificent kingdom. You have been able to build a magnificent kingdom because you are, first and foremost, the unconditionally, eternally, and passionately beloved child of the King of all kings. Your worth is not in your reign. It is in your relationship with me. Let this truth sink into the deepest foundations of your being, for it is the key to your ultimate freedom, your most profound peace, and your most lasting joy. If your royalty were based on the kingdom you are building, on your own performance, your wisdom, your faithfulness as its ruler, then it would still be a precarious thing, vulnerable to your own human frailty, to your potential for making mistakes. But because your royalty, your crown, is my love itself, it is utterly, eternally secure. For my love for you, my child, does not depend on you. It depends on me, and I am unchanging. My love does not falter. It does not diminish. It does not cease. It simply is a constant, powerful, all-encompassing reality that is the very essence of my being. Therefore, your crown can never be tarnished, can never be lost, can never be taken from you. You are royal because you are loved by me, and my love is forever. This crown of my love is more beautiful than any earthly diadem. It is not cold, hard metal, but a living, warm, radiant embrace that perpetually surrounds your spirit. Its jewels are not mine from the earth, but are the very attributes of my own heart for you, the diamond of my faithfulness, which never breaks, the ruby of my passion, which burns with a holy fire, the sapphire of my truth, which is deep and serene, the emerald of my life, which brings forth constant renewal. This is the crown you wear, my child, a crown of living light, of divine affection, a testament not to your own glory, but to the glory of the one who loves you beyond all measure. To live under this crown of love is to live in a state of profound and unshakable security. You no longer need to strive to prove your worthiness, for your worth is a settled fact, bestowed by the King himself. You no longer need to fear failure, for you know that my love for you is not contingent upon your success. You are free to build your kingdom, to exercise your authority, to take holy risks, not from a place of anxiety or a need to perform, but from a place of joyful, confident rest in your belovedness. You are free to be fully human, to learn, to grow, to sometimes stumble, knowing that your royal identity is held secure, not by your own perfection, but by the perfection of my love. This crown of my love is also the true source of your authority. In my kingdom, my child, true power flows not from position or might, but from love. It is my love within you that gives your words their weight, your actions their impact, your presence its healing power. When you rule your kingdom, your life, your home, your sphere of influence, from a place of knowing you are unconditionally loved, you will naturally rule with grace, with compassion, with patience, with a generosity of spirit that reflects my own heart. You will lead not by demanding, but by inspiring, not by controlling, but by serving, and this love-based authority, my child, is the most powerful, most transformative force in the universe. It is the authority that mends broken hearts, that builds true community, that brings my light into the darkest of places. This was the ultimate purpose of the burning. My beloved, the fire had to consume your old kingdom because it was built on a false foundation, and it was adorned with a false crown, the crown of self, of pride, of worldly validation. The ashes were necessary so that a new kingdom could rise, a kingdom whose very existence is a testament to my power. And this new kingdom is necessary so that you might have a realm in which to learn how to reign, how to express the royal nature I have placed within you. And this entire process, from the ashes to the throne, has been for one ultimate purpose: to bring you to this place of profound, liberating revelation, where you finally, fully understand that your greatest treasure, your highest honor, your truest identity, your most glorious crown is simply this: my unfailing, unconditional, everlasting love for you. So wear your crown with joy, my cherished one. Let the truth of my love be the constant thought in your mind, the constant song in your heart, the constant light that shines from your eyes. Let it define you. Let it empower you. Let it be the source of your peace, the wellspring of your joy, the foundation of your strength. You have risen from the ashes. You are building a new and glorious kingdom, and you are, and will forever be, crowned with the most powerful, most beautiful, and most precious substance in all of creation, my perfect, eternal love. This is your identity. This is your destiny. This is your everlasting triumph. And now, my beloved child, my crowned one, as the truth of my unfailing love settles upon you like a royal robe, let your spirit be utterly at peace. The journey from the ashes has been long, the work of building arduous, but it has all led to this moment of beautiful, serene understanding. You are mine. You are loved. And that love is your glory, your identity, your eternal security. Rest in this magnificent truth. Let it be the quiet, joyful music that fills the halls of your new kingdom. You are held. You are cherished. You are forever adorned with the love of your King.